Alright, welcome to this What's in Your Head quick tutorial here just to get you started. And so remember, the idea here is to find a profile picture that we'll use and then put stuff in our head. So what I'm going to do here is just go to Google Images and just find a side profile. And it could be anybody or anything, right? Like, well, anybody would be better, any person. Make sure you set your tools there to large, so you get a large image. And then you want something where, you can see probably a little bit from the shoulders and then up and a side profile like this. Something like this wouldn't be all that good. But yeah, any sort of side profile. So you can find one that looks like you or whatever. So I'll just take this one. Handsome brunette realtor. That looks like me. Sounds like me. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that image. Don't worry if there's watermarks because all we're really interested in is that profile. We're going to get rid of everything else. So I'm going to come back to Photoshop. I'm going to create a new layer, or a new image, sorry. And that brought this over here. And it should set it to the right size already. So I'm just going to create that based on what we had copied. Give it a second here. It always seems to take a second. There we are. And then I'm just pressing Control V, or I could go Edit, Paste, and there he is. Now the big idea is to select him and then get rid of this background, or select the background and get rid of him. I'm going to use the Quick Selection tool. That's my favorite one here. I'm using the square bracket just beside the P to change the size, and I'm just going to select, and with 2 clicks, looks like it did a pretty good job. I'm looking at the ants there. Looks like it did exactly what I want. So I'm just going to hit delete, and now my background is gone. Okay, so I've got that background gone. Again, don't worry about the watermarks. Then what I'm going to do here is just deselect anything. So select, deselect, or Control D, and that gets rid of those marching ants. You can't see it here, but I'm reaching down just beside the garbage can. There is the New Layer button. And I just put in a new layer above that. I'm going to fill it in with a color. We can change the color later, so don't be too picky. Just choose any color. And I'm just going to color this layer with that. Now the easiest way to do it is just grab the paint bucket, which is sitting underneath the gradient tool, and I just click, and it makes that all black. Or, sorry, blue. So in this case, what I just do here is now come back to the layer 2 and just right click on that, create the clipping mask, and it is only going to show up where my pixels are in that second layer below it. So there it is. Now it's just a matter of finding images that will go inside this person's head. And so again, I would just go back to Google. The size doesn't matter as much now because they're all going to be smaller than this. We don't have to worry too much. So Mr. Fleming always puts a Miata in. Let's make sure it's a 1992 and black. It's not slammed. Okay. So I do that, and I can set the color too if I want. Oh, not black and white, sorry. Black. There we go. And I would just pick an image, right? So something that I'm going to select out. So I don't know. I don't want to be picky here. Okay, Mr. Fleming, choose one, choose one. Oh, too difficult. Okay, I'll just choose the first one here. Okay, so take that, copy it, just like we've done before, and go back to Photoshop, and then just paste it in. And when you paste that in, now it might come up really big, mine is, so make sure you use your Move tool here. Make sure your Show Transform controls are on, and then hold Shift, and you can shrink that picture down so it's something workable. And I'll get it roughly. Okay. Now I have to remove this background, so I'm going to try to use the Quick Selection tool here. Let's check that off. So I'm going back to my Quick Selection tool. I'm going to select the car, and I might have to do a little bit of work after. Now, so that got the outside. I'm using a really big brush. So remember, Alt will subtract, remove stuff, Again, I'm doing this pretty quick. Now, problem, of course, is that we've got some black and black here, or dark colors. So I'm just going to zoom in, see if it will get a pretty good job. And we can always fix it up after. Okay, so maybe a smaller brush. Just trying to refine that edge. I grab the car. There, that's pretty good. So I'll just, the back car, so again, Alt, and remove that. I don't know, I guess, oh, that's the gas filler. Not the greatest picture, but anyways. Now, remember what I said about using a mask. So in this case, I'm not going to just delete everything. I'm actually going to use the mask, and I can fix up spots like that. So what I'm going to do is, again, you can't see it, unfortunately, because I did this too small. But right beside FX, there is, almost looks like a Japanese flag, except it's white with a black center in it. And I'm going to click on that. And what that did was it basically masked out everything I had not selected. Okay? Now this isn't a great selection, like I said, it's probably a bad picture I chose. But what I can do now is just grab a regular paintbrush and using, that's not a regular paintbrush, where'd my regular paintbrush go? Just a regular brush. Yours should be on a regular brush. I've got so many brushes here. So let me go up to the top. There we are. Just probably something like that. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm on the mask. So notice there's a little box around the mask here. I'm going to use either black or white to remove the mask or add to the mask. And so in this case, I want to have sort of, you know, there's some stuff around here I want to get rid of. So that would be adding to the mask. So I just push the arrow there so that it's got the black. And I'm just going to paint. I'm going to make sure my edge is hard on that. It is, okay. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to, oh, the opacity is to 23 on mine, so I'm going to make sure that's 100%. That's why it's not disappearing. And I'm just going to add to that mask. Okay, and again, I'm not going to spend hours doing this, because it's going to be relatively small, but just remove any of these big gashes here. I don't know what that is. It's hard to see the back of what the car is. Maybe I'll just bring that down a little bit. Okay, that's not. And then here I could bring back the tire, so I could turn it to white. So it doesn't look like the tire's gashed. That looks a bit better. Again, maybe go to the black, remove some of that shadow. And then basically just clean it up as you go, right? So we would just keep working away, remove some of that, and so on. Now I won't spend too much more time here. Maybe let's just fix that egregious tire missing here. Something like that. Switch it back to black. And that sort of, or white, sorry. Oh, black, I guess that was. And that would be the idea, okay? So, again, not great here. You could do much better than me, given a little bit more time. But that was a pretty bad picture to start with there. So once that's done, right, then you could sort of size it. Again, it was a little large. And then bring it, for the moment, I'll put it sort of close to the head here. And then once I've got it in there, I just want to put it in. So click there, and then I can just right click again and create the clipping mask. And now it's also inside that layer. So if I move it around, it's there. Okay? And feel free to move it like that. So what you want to do is sort of keep adding images, okay? And we sort of want to fill the head. And I'll just double check here. I can't remember how many I had said. So like I said here, a minimum of 15 edited pictures, right? So you want to put 15 images in there, different things. Have them well thought out, laid out. You probably will get most of the images in tomorrow, okay, or during this class. Try to get those done. And then we can play around and sort of use some more of the editing tools, make some bright, change things up. I'll show you a few other things the next class. But you should have enough on your plate there to find the profile picture if you haven't, move things around, you know, get 15 images cut out and placed in the head and sort of arrange those. All right, good luck. We'll see you next time.